The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 261 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're back. We're celebrating a supporter shield ever so slightly, knowing that the big project is ahead of us. Of course, with everything going down, we got to bring in the full crew today. So Tony is here, Bam is here, Araceli is here as well. And yes, I am going to jump to Bam right away because I see the $2 sign is up. How are you doing, Bam? And let's talk about that $2.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. A bit wet. We're currently having some major flooding going around my state right now. So from when I first joined this podcast all those episodes ago, being in major fires to now major flooding, that's Australia life for you. Just so you get some understanding, since for the last 24 hours, most of the state has had at least 30 mils of rain, and 30 mils to inches would be 1.18 inches of rain in 24 hours.
Yeah, too much. We're going to have to bring a rescue to you, man. I don't know. I might as well build an ark while we're at it.
I'm right now, at the moment, I'm fairly fine because my house is a bit up on a little bit of a hill, so it's not too bad. But there are a lot of rivers around us that are overflowing with the dam, so they're having to let the dam out a little bit. So the flooding going down the rivers and all that. So be interesting to see how we go for the next 6 to 8 weeks, because they predict that this type of weather will be around for that long with the on and off flooding.
Oh boy. And then we're sitting here drought levels. So we're like, hey, can we borrow some of that?
Take as much as you want. Take as much as you want.
We're going to need it. We're going to need it. That's for sure. But man, as long as you're staying high and dry and you're okay, that's what matters most. So let's explain the $2 for everybody. As you see, the $2 is up next to Bam's name. Basically, there is a running line with Bam and with Jonathan Reimer. I think he started this trouble.
He brought the idea up. Last episode, he mentioned that you might have a few different Germany shirts. So for each different Germany shirt you wear on the podcast, I'll be adding $1 to that amount. And when we're finally done, all that will get donated to the Mo Foundation.
And anyone can play this game, match along, play along. The challenge is accepted, and this could carry us all the way to the World Cup. Yeah, that's just how it's got to be, people. If you're throwing U.S. jerseys, we'll be doing this till June, but, it is what it is. All right, so, man, just thinking about this weekend, man, and all the madness. But Tony is here. Tony, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. Excited for the celebration that we had on Sunday, and now just focusing on the only match that technically we need to watch, but of course you have to watch the whole Western Conference playoffs to see who we get to match up against, and then getting ready for Thursday of next week, pretty much, where Araceli and Bam will probably try to do live because we can't do a podcast because it's on a Thursday.
We got a game, people. That means obviously we're going to do an early podcast next week to preview our matchup for whoever we play, which we'll get really in depth in that even today as potentials, as we actually do plan on breaking down the playoffs for everybody right now, at least during this show. And so you guys will be ready for the weekend and get your primer. Araceli, how are you doing today?
I'm actually doing very well. The inaugural season of MLS Next Pro is in the books. I feel like I've just been sleeping nonstop for the last week, so I'm well rested, ready to talk all LAFC. And very quickly, I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's basically helped support me this season, and especially my co-host here, especially when I've had tough days. Best way to put it. And I'm not just saying that to bother them up in hopes they'll give me their share of Tim Tams, but with everything aside, as I mentioned, okay, judging by that look, I'm guessing Tony already ate it all. So in that case, I take it all back. But in all seriousness, It's been an exciting season, and I'm really looking forward to see what next year has.
Without a doubt. MLS Next, again, you were there at the beginning of all this. And to see, I guess Columbus is the winner, right? They are the champs.
Yes, Columbus Crew too.
And hopefully it'll be us next year. And, shout out to St. Louis for getting as far as they did. It's good for the league. And it's great to have you at the ground level watching it develop and seeing what we're going to expect next year. You're in it already. You already know what the plan is. So definitely you'll be our resident expert when it comes to the next and beyond. Because I mean, let's be honest, Araceli goes everywhere, even our all-star correspondent. So it's been one heck of a season. That's for sure, Araceli. Thank you for all of it. Now we were looking like, what do we want to kick off with? Of course, you want to celebrate the Shield and all that, but we want to keep that short and sweet for now because let's be honest, that's not the goal. You heard the team say it. You heard Vela say it. That ain't it. That's a part of it. Shield's kind of a promise or a creator of an expectation that you need to do better than where you're at right now. So we'll bottle that a little bit. We'll cover it later. We want to talk about awards because that is the breaking news that came out today. Araceli, we've got a few nominees, correct?
Yes, we actually have two, in fact. Speaking of the nominees, our very first one is our very own Chicho Arango, who is up for MVP. And he will be going up against Andre Blake, Sebastian Driussi, Chicharito, and Hani Mukhtar.
Mukhtar.
I feel like I can never pronounce his name correctly, so apologies there. And
Join the
then,
club.
of course, our very own Steve Cherundolo is up for Coach of the Year, and he's going against Jim Curtin and Wilfred Nancy.
Yes, and it is a tough place to be for Steve Cherundolo. He's done something nobody's ever done, right? Most wins ever in a season for your first year in charge. I'm sorry, but that is a gold standard last time I checked. You make a record, you should probably get an award out of it. It's just the way it works. But I get why they love Nancy so much. What he's done in Montreal is way more than anybody would expect them to do. So he's overachieved. And then Philly's Philly, right? So the way I said, yes, I am biased. I say Cherundolo should be the winner of this thing. Araceli, where do you stand on it? Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think should win?
Well, when it comes to the coach, I definitely think Dolo deserves it. He definitely proved us wrong in the sense that when his signing was first announced at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of skepticism. I have to admit, even I was a little skeptical with it, given his past, but he's definitely kind of proven us wrong this season and really shown what he's able to do on the field. So I think he has a good chance at winning it. As for MVP, I mean, bias, obviously, I got to go with Chicho. It just, to me, he's been scoring goals like crazy, even though his performance as of late has been questionable. I mean, he started off the season very well. So, again, that's just my own biased take on it.
Right, and he's never let up. Even when we had our slump, he was the guy that was still putting in the work. Simple, right? We're a supporter shield winning side. We eased into it and still pulled it off. Chicho doing his job, having to deal with all these adjustments and new players, and he's the guy that just remains constant. So I'm with you, man. I hope he wins, but it's going to be tough. Bam. If you're looking at the votes for both coach and for MVP, where's your head at?
For me, as much as I see Chicho win MVP, I'm gonna have to lean towards more Mukhtar winning that. He had an amazing season, breakout season, all that. Coach of the Year, yeah, Dollar should get it, but at the same time, though, Dollar should technically be down for the Newcomer of the Year finalist too.
Yeah, agreed. I totally agree. It's tough. I mean, it really is because you look at these guys. I'm looking at it and just I'll go to Tony. What do you think is going to happen for Coach of the Year? Who do you think's getting it?
The one thing I'm surprised is Cincinnati's not in that one because this is like their first year they've made playoffs. But looking at it, if it's not going to be like again, Dolo took a team who didn't make the playoffs with high expectations, proved everyone wrong with no MLS experience, no head coach experience, no pretty much nothing except for USL in Vegas, and he didn't do that well in Vegas. Should take it, but Montreal is also another good. Miss Nancy is also a really good nominee, but out of those three, honestly, it has to be Dolo because again, Philadelphia always strong, been doing it even last year. So it's how do you the only way you have I think if they win the Supporters Shield, maybe Philly gets bumped up, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be Dolo.
Should be. I have a funny feeling though they're going to give this one to Curtin. I just do. All about the defense, right? I think they're going to hand this to him. Shouldn't be, but I think that's going to be the case. Praying that it's going to be different. Other stuff, of course, MVP. I think you guys are kind of on the spot with Mukhtar. It's all leaning that way, especially who gets to do the votes. As great as Arango's been, I think he's been overshadowed by the level of our side. Just because we have so much talent and the goals get spread around, he loses out just because of that, which is terrible. Because if you put him on a Philly side, how many goals is he popping, right? Any other side, he's still going to be producing. There's no question. But yeah, I think it's going to be Mukhtar this time. And if it can't be our guy, then it might as well be him. So there is that. The other thing I saw that came out just recently on social media, I didn't put it up on our plans, guys, but I'm going to throw it out there, is CCL draw is coming. You guys probably saw that on Twitter and the potential teams we might be playing, and they put us in the pot. So we're now in pot one. We got the Caps, we got Atlas, we got Pachuca, we got Leon, Orlando, Philly, and then whoever the last qualifier for the US is. And in pot two, LDA, Alianza, VAC, Olimpia, Motagua, Real España, Tigres, and Tauro FC. So whoever we're playing for the home and home, obviously we might be going to a really far away place, right? Could be somewhere in Central America. Tony, you were looking at this list too. What are you thinking, man? You down to travel to all these places?
Oh yeah, I was looking at the list, and I was also looking at they also announced the dates of where every schedule is going to be up to the final. So
Yes.
the final will be June 4th for the second leg, and the first leg is going to be May 31st. So that also coincides with because we're also in it is the U.S. Open Cup, so it's going to be another season of like managing minutes, managing players, managing health, and everything like that. Because again, we are looking to win everything. That's the whole thing. Whatever tournament we're in, we are trying to win everything. So it's going to be like the first leg is going to be in March. And honestly, this is a good class. I think the Mexican sides have been going down in the last couple of years, especially since, Seattle finally won it. Especially that should have been us, but couldn't finish the job. And the only one that kind of scares me is Atlas, who's been dominant.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have to face them until at least the second round, thankfully. The only danger side that I see, I mean, danger is in travel, right?
Yeah.
Home, these are home and homes. It ain't going to be easy. Conditions are going to be pretty brutal in some of these places. The only one where probably the conditions won't be as brutal as we think would be Tigres. But, dude, a Liga MX side in the first round would be a hard ask. Not like we haven't done it before, but still, the challenge is there. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty far off. I mean, we're a pretty good trip. I think Tauro's Panama, right? If I'm seeing that correct. But I'm down to travel if you guys are down to travel.
I
Right,
wanted
Bam?
Jamaica.
I did too, but they didn't make it this time. No Jamaican sides. So yeah, I know that was last time we were pinning for that and it didn't happen. But I think good chance we're going to Central America. We just don't know who. And we'll see how it plays it out. Yeah, check it out. Champions League put everything up, schedules the whole bit, the draw. It's cool. It's real. It's something for next year already. All right, moving forward, of course, let's talk about the game briefly. And then we get into playoffs. Yes, we had this really weird match against Nashville, where everything seemed to look right except for, the one thing that you're supposed to do, put the ball across the line. Of course, we lost this thing 1-0. Teal Bunbury caught us in the 53rd minute when he decided to stop kicking people. He decided to kick the ball for once. Yeah. And so we ended up losing 1-0. But, looking at the lineups, looking at how it was built, I know we debated starting lineups, and actually we kind of put our best out there for the most part. We had Arango up top. We had Vela on the right, Boanga on the left, Sanchez holding in the middle, Blessing on the right, Acosta on the left. Your backs, you had Chiellini and Segura, the steady crew. Hollingshead on the right, Palacios on the left. Yes, the steady crew. And then, of course, Max closing things out. Mindset was we need to stay fresh. We have a long time off before the next match. We don't want to sit for too long. Got to keep things fresh. So that is the lineup that we saw go in. Of course, the peculiar stuff we saw was, of course, Vela going off early. I guess a little twinge, but he's fine. Precautionary stuff. You gave him limited minutes. Okay. So that's kind of the story. Highlights for the first half, Tony. What stood out to you, sir? Do we have any big ones that you want to talk about from the first half?
All the misses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. The biggest highlight and the biggest miss of the whole was pretty much in the closing minutes of the half is the penalty kick by Chicho, where he decided to kind of like swan dance, jump, kicked in, stuff like that, which is something new that we haven't seen from him at all. Like, again, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you go through that and he makes it, we don't talk about it. We're up one up going into the half, but he decides to change it up, and pretty much this whole game, it was them having fun is the best way, because you've seen like most of the misses, they were just laughing and like, crap, I should have had that, I should have had this, because we had nothing to play for. Nashville was the only one playing for something, and as much as Philly was mad at that, couldn't win, all this stuff, I'm like, we did what we had to do the game before, so this game we could have rest, we could have done whatever we wanted to, but still it was frustrating.
Yeah, very frustrating. In the first half, the highlight was, of course, the penalty and, of course, the red card that never was. And we have to talk about it because that actually helped to decide this match. Without a doubt, Dax McCarty goes out of this game. It's done. We walk over these guys. It's over. We would finish these guys off, as bad as it was already. And so once again, we see controversy from the amazing officiating. Right, Bam? They're amazing, aren't they?
Oh, pro referees are just absolute pro.
Yeah. So ugly. It is what it is. This is what we're stuck with. This is our league. It's the greatest limiter this league has. It's the officiating. So it happens. Go through the first half. Moving on, we go to the second half. What stood out to you, Tony, besides us completely dominating this game throughout?
Kind of the mislap in set pieces, because this is going to, and we have to talk about this because this is going to be a major point going into the playoffs, is our dead ball situations. That's been our Achilles heels since LAFC's since the LAFC has been in the league, and we thought we finally figured that out, but the goal in pretty much what minute was it? It's one of those things where I honestly don't even remember watching this game because of everything. That's the funny part of it.
I mean, it goes through. I talked to Ilya Sanchez about this whole situation, and there was a poor call that actually created the situation in the first place. Then they get a dead ball. Then, of course, we get beat on the dead ball, and Ilya stuck in the middle, can't do much of anything about it, right? Guy behind him, trapped. We give away another dead ball goal. As Tony mentions, we have trouble with this, and it is a rising problem. And if you're going to the playoffs, you cannot allow goals on dead balls. You just can't do it. This is the one thing you can't do. And we're guilty of it yet again. And of course, it cost us. Overall in the match, they had 2 shots on goal. One happened to be one, right? And the rest of the game, we push. We hit posts. We hit easy misses. We have Arango laughing twice, kind of flustered by how are we in this situation. And by the end of it all, we end up short. 66% possession later. Crap I just looking at the shots, like, did that really happen? Yes, 30 shots, 14 on target, and yeah, we end up where we're at. Are we angry about it? I wouldn't say angry. I say frustrated. It was just nice to be walking away with a win, but you got to wonder on decision day if we were kind of like, if we do, we do. We don't, we don't. If the Galaxy slip up, guess who we get to play, or guess who gets to go host at home? Again, doesn't kill us either way. So interesting vibes. That's what I get from it. I'll give it to you, Bam. Your recollection or your thoughts about this odd little match we played.
I think the oddest thing that threw me the most was the first sub at 40 minutes with Tello coming off of Vela and Vela being happy to go off.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like, yep, cool, whatever, off I go.
So what I got from it is that there was a minor concern, muscle concern. And so he was already going to be unlimited minutes anyway. And it was definitely, it felt to me like it was, hey guys, here's my show up fee. I'm out. And not much more than that. Bam, you're looking at me like, I think so too.
It was watching it going, Vela's coming 40th minute. That's early for him. He's not angry. What is this Vela? He's normally angry getting taken off at any time, let alone the first half.
The maturing Vela, right? The big picture Vela. Everything we want to see from him. This is MVP level stuff as well. That you take one for the team, you move on, you think about the big picture, and you know the real goals. So good on that. Araceli, your impressions of this bizarro match?
My impressions really is just I'm just still fixated on the 30 shots, 14 shots on goal. It's just, and including Chicho's missed PK. I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, we
honestly,
should be angry, right? But we aren't. Tony, final thoughts on that before we get into 3 stars?
It was just like, again, it was a throwaway game. It was horrendous, and as Vince said, pretty much the keeper has to repeat this, and that's something you can't control. Is like you can't have a keeper pretty much tie MLS record for saves in a game, mind you. Like he tied Max's record a couple years from last year, and so you can't replicate this. Like if you can't replicate this again, then Nashville's in big danger. But again, we also shut down Mukhtar. Chiellini made sure of that. Him and Segura were really well done that. So either than a fluke, then we should be good. But overall, it's kind of a wash game. You know what I mean? We went in there knowing we didn't have to play for anything. So lucky us, I guess, but still concerning.
Look at it this way. They were a team that needed this win, right? And we were a team that didn't, and we were going to cycle. And somehow, some way, in a game where you're playing a team that needs this, another playoff team, you still dominate them even on a half effort. And I don't want to call half effort, but you weren't getting stuck in. No way, right? And you still dominate possession, dominate the opportunities, really outclass them, minus the goals. Now you go into the playoffs, and somehow, some way, if we get these guys, now it's for keeps, right? Now we're in this, right? Our best lineup comes in. Sifo gets back into this thing. You go for it. We're gonna thrash these dudes. There's no question we'll be ready to thrash these dudes. It won't be a repeat of this nonsense. Different, right? I think if anything, it'll help sober our guys to be like, look, things aren't going to go your way. It's the playoffs. You have to find a way. You have to dig deep. You know what you can do against these guys. Now go execute. So for me, my walk away is this. It was a cautionary tale. Move on. The reaction from the players, I think, was probably spot on with it as well. We did what we were supposed to do. It just didn't fall. And that's fine. Move on. Enjoy the shield. Get to the next day. Which, of course, brings it to the guys that stood out in this match. There's a lot you could highlight because of how dominant we were. So I'll throw it to Bam. How are things looking on the 3 stars, man?
All right. So from our fans, there was a lot of love for Ilie. So Ilie got the 3 votes from the fans. And then Sifu and Bouanga were equal, so they both get the 2 votes. For us, for me, I went Bouanga 3 points, Kilie 2 votes, and Ilie 1 vote. And Tony,
I went Chiellini, Segura, and who did I pick for last?
Bouanga.
Bouanga. I was like, who did I pick for last? I was like, because that, like, again, it's like you can't really highlight anyone really. Bouanga more was just because of the hard work and putting the pressure on to try to score, but couldn't.
Araceli?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Araceli.
I went with Bouanga, Chiellini, and Segura.
Nice.
And
The steadiest in
Joseph.
the middle. I went Bouanga, most exciting player on the day, without a doubt. Very unfortunate he didn't get the results he needed. I went with Ilie because he completely dominated his zone, kept control of this game. Again, didn't let them breathe very much. And then I went with Palacios. You're like, why Palacios? Well, where was everything coming from on our side of the field? That was complete domination on that side of the field. So for me, that's where the spark was at. So for me, I was happy with his play on the day. So those are my 3 stars. Could I have said Chiellini? Yeah. Could I have said Segura? Heck yeah. We again on the field, the play itself was right. We made 1 mistake in the whole game. 1. But man, it was just putting the ball across. That's it. That's all it was.
So
yes.
for all us combined, Bouanga had 10 votes from us all combined, so he gets a 3. Chiellini had 7, so he gets 2, and Segura and Ilie both had 3, so I gave them both 1 point each. So totals for the year, for the regular season and all that kind of stuff. 24 players recorded votes. In 24th spot, Bale, 1 vote.
Okay.
Above Bale on 2 votes, we have 2 players, Ibiaga and Trejo. Above them on 3 votes, we have Ginella and Segura. Above them on 6 votes, Murillo and Moose. On 7 votes, McCarthy and Ismail Trajuri By himself on 8 votes, Escobar. Blessing comes in with 11 votes. Acosta, 12 votes. Chiellini, 13 votes. Hollingshead, 15 votes. Mamadou Fall 17 votes. B-Rod, 18 votes. Bouanga and Crepo are joint on 25 votes. Palacios on 27 votes. Sifu, 31 votes. Ilie, 34 votes. Opoku, 40 votes. And then we jump up to 54 votes in second place. Vela.
Ooh.
Which means that on 57 votes, the winner of this year's Heart of LAFC Player of the Year award goes to the one and only, hopefully MVP, Chicho Arango.
Congratulations, Chicho. You are the 2022 Heart of LAFC podcast MVP, the Player of the Year. There you go. And somehow, some way, we will break into the training center and get this to Chicho. Hopefully as early as next week before the playoffs kick off. Maybe we'll just have to talk to Paul a little bit and go, hey, Paul, and get into that building and get this thing done. So congratulations again to Chicho. Congratulations to all of you who made this happen. This was a vote by you guys. We didn't weight our votes, just like everybody else. Everyone on equal footing. No shenanigans. No MLS reffing VAR decisions here. VAR is not going to play a role here, and going to switch this to Vel at the last second because, a certain referee likes it that way. No, he earned it. Our boy's the man, Chicho Arango. Got to give it up, right? Got to give it up. Can't wait to have the pictures with this. Let's get it to him hopefully next week, and we'll get you guys the pictures of all that as we break into the Performance Center. So thank you guys. Well done. Yes.
Thank you to everyone that listens to the podcast, follows on Twitter and all that kind of stuff for sending the votes in. Thank you to you guys as well for putting your votes and allowing me this opportunity to bring this award to what it's going to be. It's going to be a nice yearly award. It's something that I wanted to do because, look, I stole it from the podcast here in Melbourne. They do it. They get to actually present it to the winner at the end of the year at the club's official end of year awards and all that kind of stuff. So one day I'd like for that to happen to us too. But for me, it was more, how can we get you guys, the fans of the podcast, the fans of the club, involved in the podcast a little bit? And I thought this was a perfect way to do that. So for you guys, thank you for helping me get this done.
And thank you, Bam, for shipping that all the way up here to make it happen just in time as well. Actually, with time in hand, getting it done, man. So thank you to you. And thank you to all of you. And Tony, I know you're going to be one of those guys smuggling it. And if I can't get there, I know you're going to get there, but we're going to put our effort to make it happen and get our appearance. Yes. So that is where we're at in terms of the MVP. Well done. Well done. Which, of course, brings us to the other award. That's right. The Supporter Shield. Now we have time to talk to it now that we went through the game, talked about our MVPs. It happened. The party happened. A little weird party. Wasn't quite what we were used to. Things kind of went a little bit funky with it. Hopefully the next time we win one of these is a little more supporter centric rather than, media influencer centric. But yeah, let's get more of us on the field, people, and more time for the North End. But that's that. Yeah, well earned. Could have been earned even earlier in the year. Right? We delayed it, made it more dramatic. We get this thing on wins. That's it. The tiebreaker gets it to us. So we made it real interesting to the final point there, but we still did it. Mission accomplished. We should be proud of it. It is 2 in 5 seasons. That is a crazy, crazy clip. And if you keep that up, it'll be a very trophy-filled wild case. And we will be the big boys within 20 years, like we know we are. So good on everybody for making it happen. And yes, that means we got to make scarves and merch and all that fun stuff related to the Supporter Shield. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. But let's hopefully it's next to another trophy as well. And just, you bookend those bad boys. And then it will be proper. Tony, impressions on this Supporter Shield season, sir?
Like I said, it from last season to this season, it's been day and night. And again, we weren't even in the consideration to be Supporter Shield. Like, you know what I mean? Brand new coach, whole new system. Like, we did have the stars that were coming in before Chiellini and Bailey even joined in, and then added Bouanga, added Tello. So it's been a very we got the job done early, so this would have been easier. But again, I love the Supporter Shield because it's for us and how much hard we work. But now, as we were screaming at the North End, we want the cup.
And that was beautiful by everyone in the North End to say that and to scream it, and the players to play along with it. They know it as well. They fully own that. Dolo fully owns that. The mindset is right. I will say that. I see a more matured perspective on this from the fans and from the players. The first time we won it, of course, we were all giddy. We got a trophy, like it was the greatest thing in the world. And this year was like, well, we got a trophy, but we got stuff to do next week. Right? And it was that simple. Like, let's get out of this place. Let's move on. Let's party as much as we can, but move on. And I think that was the right mindset from everybody that I was talking to. It is great to celebrate, but at the end of the day, we're a week away from our playoff game. 1 week to go. So let's do this. Let's make it happen. And prepare for the next mission. Bam, your thoughts on the Supporter Shield season?
It was full of highs and lows. Highs where we had a great start, and then we went to that slump near the end there that made us think, do we really deserve it? But we got there in the end, and I'm happy with that. As the title says, job's not finished. Job's not finished. We're only halfway there. We know what you want to do. Couple more wins, and they need to be wins, and we'll get what we need to do. So hopefully give the boys a couple of days off this week, but not the full week off. make sure that they are fit and ready and raring to go for the next game.
There it is. And I think they are. I know they are. I've heard comments from certain players related to it already. They're chomping at the bit for it. I think the best comment I heard was from Ilie Sanchez when asked, I actually got a chance to ask him this, well, who do you want in the next round? And his response was, I don't care. If we play our game, we'll be fine. We believe in our system. We believe in Dolo's system. He said it. And he said, if we do what we do, play the way we play our system, follow what our manager has told us to do, we will win. Doesn't matter who we play. It's that simple. It's not about them. It's about us. And I think we need to take that from Ilie. I'm 100% on board with that mindset. It's just get there and get ready and get healthy and make this run that we all want, that we all need. That we all do this 90 minutes plus for this moment. So Thursday, give it all you got. Supporter, player. There is no Friday. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is Thursday night. You give everything you possibly can and leave it there. Simple as that. Araceli, your thoughts?
I think you said it best earlier. Leave it to LAFC to win it in the most dramatic way, because really they could have had it in the bag weeks ago. But hey, LAFC got it, and if anything, proud of the club for winning it not only once but twice in a 3-year span. But now the real test starts next week.
Let's bring it to that, the playoffs. All right. So I'm going to throw this out to the supporters. Get you guys in your comments right now. Then we'll get in the community, of course, the final club minute, because that's what we do. So let's see where you guys are at. Definitely join the conversation. Throw up everything you got there. Let's talk about this stuff. All right. So first comments. Who got the first one today? It goes to It's Jibble with the W. There we go. Burke is in the mix. Good seeing you on there, sir. Jose Bernal giving the good vibes. Love it. Ox in the mix as well. LAC Wolf on here too. Says, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We got the shield. We want the cup. We want the cup. See, there it is. Jibble says, thank you for making these podcasts so enjoyable and fun. Looking forward to. Thank you, man. Thank you. Again, we don't do this without you guys. You're the reason. You encourage us. You get us up to no good, and we keep on going with it. So thank you guys. Jose Bernal, we want the cup. There it is. Ox still waiting for their Tim Tams. I think there's a blackout in Kansas. You can't ship Tim Tams. It might be illegal in Kansas. They got funky laws over there. So
Yeah,
it might not be
Kansas.
legal. They don't like happy things. Sorry. Just messing with you guys. I love Kansas too.
It's not illegal, okay?
It's,
I seen them in the store, so
I tried, but it said, but it always comes back return to sender. So I don't know.
Actually, I think it says return to Upland. Oh, me. Sorry. It never made it through. I'm sorry. Customs. I'll play customs. There you go. You've been challenged, Bam. Do you see that? That's hilarious. All right. So there's orders across North America now for Bam to send Tim Tams. And he'll have to take those by boat, obviously. He's going to have to swim out first before he ships it. But there we go. All right. Daniel Angel says, job's not done. 3 more home wins. Correct. Christopher Gomez, Chicha MVP for missed penalties, and his club is record holder for penalties attempted. But nobody wants to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. We talk about the playoffs, people. Daniel Angel, the only reason Dolo isn't considered the odds-on runaway favorite is due to the roster he has. As if anyone can do what he did with the same players. I don't buy it, though. I don't buy it at all. So wait, you completely revamp a roster and you hit the ground running. Do y'all remember how bad it was last year? Do y'all forget the second half substitutions that just completely changed games in the early half of this year that kind of were blowing minds? Like, how does this keep happening? How do all these subs keep scoring goals? That's him. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy stuff. Do you think we'd be here if Bob was still manager? I think that's the best question. Do you think we'd really be in this position if Bob was the manager? So I'm with you, Daniel, man. He's not getting the love he should get. Crazy people in this world, right? Daniel Hill says, thought Mukhtar should have won last year, so this year is his redemption. Yeah, I think we're going to play this catch-up MVP game from here on out, which is kind of funny, but it's hard to fault Mukhtar. He's a great player, an amazing player. So if he does, kudos to him, man. But yeah. Jose Bernal, Dolo should be coach of the season, team 21 wins. And the guys he passed all had shootout wins in those seasons. Old MLS. So it's even more amazing. Those should have been draws. They would have been draws these days. But yeah, he blew them out of the water. Jose Bernal says 14 shots LAC versus 2-shot Nashville. Football is fun. Yeah, football is fun. It can be so total torture, can't it? We love this game. Jose Bernal, wait for the Mexican refs for next year's tournament. Oh, even better, CONCACAF refs overall. If you think pro's funny, just wait for CONCACAF. It's a thing. Love it, Jose. Or the Central American refs. Very interesting calls we will see. Yeah, international tournaments is a different beast altogether, but I'm still looking forward to the shenanigans. Down in Hill, Mamadou got his first goal on loan. Easily could be a 3 though. At 3 though. Do we think he or Janela get called back for CCL? I'll throw it to Bam. He's shaking his head. Go for it, man.
Fall's not coming back. It breaks my heart knowing that he's not coming back, but he's gone. He's sold. He's destroying it over there. He's played 90 minutes for Villarreal B side, scoring goals. Like, yes, they had a 2-2 draw last game, but the first goal the opposition scored was an absolute cracking goal. If you get a chance, look up the highlights on YouTube. It was a cracking goal. No one was stopping that. But Fall's goal, he got left unintended back post. What's he going to do? He's going to go for the header and score. Yeah, I've got notifications set up so I know when he's playing and all that kind of stuff. So definitely, if you get a chance, find streams for their games and watch them. He won't be in the B team for much longer, I don't think.
No, I think, yeah, I'm with you. He's on his way up. The trajectory is there. This is real. And if he gets into the first team at any point, we're never seeing him again. Guarantee that. You know, we'll see him like we've seen Mbappe at our stadium, right? He'll be there, wave the hand, give some autographs, maybe put the sombrero on for fun before the game. And that's it, you know, and it's okay because what that does, I'll be honest, the best thing to happen to LAFC is Mamadou Fall getting sold. It's the best thing that could happen. Why? Because at every other young player that's moving up goes, hey, there's an outlet. It's a huge outlet. If this works out, it's massive for this club. It's a new step. So enjoy it, man. We had a great time with him. It would have been fun to have him here right now, but he's doing what he needs to do for his career, and it's actually helping us. So good on him. All love to Mamadou. Full heart for us for the very end. Still loves our side. Will always be one of us. Will always be black and gold. So good stuff. Daniel Hill says Chicho is the heart of LA. I agree. A happy heart indeed. So again, I love that guy. I hope we keep him for a long time. Ox says he deserves it. Agreed. Okay. Jose Bernal, Chicho. Got good vibes from Daniel Angel. There it is. By the way, have you seen Chicho's hat that he's wearing right now? He's got his own hat now, and it's pretty cool. It looks cool. I dig it. Emoji madness. It's good. It's good. Jose giving a thank you to Bam. See that on there. Daniel as well. Oh, I like this one. Oh, Uncle Danny from Spokane in the mix with the shield. There it is. Love you, Dan. There we go. Jose Quiros. Here we go. I find it hysterical from the Philly fans on Facebook claiming they deserve the shield more because LAFC bought their way to the standings. Haven't they seen LAFC before the transfer? I know we were better before the transfer. Like, what are you talking about? If we don't make those changes and have to adjust, it's a runaway. I'm with you, Jose. They're Philly fans. They like to talk. It's just the way it is. What else, man? We got to settle on the field. If we get to the final, it's either them or Montreal in the final. So I think we're going to meet again before the year is out, guys. I have a feeling. Settle it on the field. Dennis says, I think we should change the tune. It's not we want the cup, we need the cup. We need the cup. I'm with you. We need it. It's time. It's got to happen. Dan saying we will get the cup. He's predicting. Dangerous, but he's predicting. There it is. Mark Lopez, while we were chanting, we want the cup, I saw Dolo. We do too, to whoever he was standing next to. Yeah, no, again, the vibe is right, people. They know. Jose Bernal, we have the game. Bring it on. Uncle Danny's looking for merchandise there. Cup on the side, shield on the other. If we get the double, I'm getting tattoos, people. I'm just going to put that right now on air. It's on. If we get the double, I don't have a choice. I have to do it. Maybe we'll use them. Yeah, we'll do another jersey game so I can actually afford it. But there it is. On, dude. Thank you guys for the comments. Looking good. Let's get into community news, and we'll catch you guys a little bit later with a few more comments. Again, go with the hot takes. We want to hear from you guys. Love every bit of it. All right, Tony, you have the floor, sir. What's going on in the club and community?
So nothing too much. Again, we have the week off until Thursday. So, of course, still going on sale at the moment is the Mo Facio scarves, which they're $35 each. And it goes directly to the fund. It's again super nice scarf. I have bought I think 2 last game as well. Even already have 1, so I already bought an extra one just to keep funding this. Again, there's only I believe 500 out there, so if you don't make it out, I might just have all 500 at this point. So that's one thing that's going on. The other thing, of course, is on Sunday, October 6th, from 10 till 12 p.m. at Stater Bros at Riverside at 7200 Arlington Avenue, you can meet Christian Torres, one of our young players that we have pretty much the future, as you saw in the pictures as well. Like all the young players come out and hold the shield and stuff like that, and they're seeing the future. So again, if you're out in Riverside, let's support Torres, give him the love that he deserves, because again, he's one of our originals.
Exactly. He's one of the boys. It was cool seeing them lift the shield, the youngsters. He was out there. It was good to see them there. But yeah, go support. It's good things. That's for sure. Any other community news we got before we get into the mix?
Oh, we still have our jersey giveaway that we're still doing. Again, all you have to do is donate $5 to the Mo Facio futsal court on the website for the GoFundMe, and just send it a screenshot of you donating to either our Twitter or our Instagram, and just DM us, and then you get automatically put into the drawing, and we will give away this signed, let's see if I get the right side of it. Sorry. Signed jersey of Murillo warm-up kit. So we may have some more giveaways later on. We'll see what we can do, but that is one of our many giveaways that we shall try to do moving forward.
There we are. Good stuff. Thank you, everyone so far who has made the donations, that have bought the scarves, that have been a part of this process. Shout out to Pepsi as well for doing what they did this past weekend and doing the Scars Up for Good campaign, throwing $20 every time we threw that out there. And I saw everyone on here. I'm looking at the comments. I think all you guys did it. So shout out to all you guys, the faithful, for keeping that up and making it happen. I'm hoping they do it again this weekend, or maybe the next match until December, as far as I'm concerned. Even farther if we have to. We got to get across the line. So on them, yes. Also, shout out to Flex. You guys probably saw it. Perfect Attendance Award. They did an award for everybody with perfect attendance. I happened to somehow win it this year. Bizarro world. And it was a kit and a drill set coming our way. So that was cool. That was super cool from them. Again, Pepsi, Flex, these guys are doing it right. They're doing it right. So good on them. All right. It brings us to the next thing. That's right. The Vinyl Club Minute. Music, people. I know Bam had the selection last week. I think I found one that I really like. So I'm going to run with this one this week. We had to look for bands from Nashville, right? Because we played it, or from Tennessee. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing the Tennessee thing. And so who I chose this week is Aretha Franklin. That is right, Aretha Franklin. The album is Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You from 1967. Talking about you, Chicho. Sorry, man. Why? Because respect. That's why. RESPCT is the hit song from that pretty much helped to define Aretha Franklin's career. And those letters right there should be something that you should think about. Dolo, maybe, and the side, and the guys doing all the work to get us where we're at, having our best season we've had in a very, 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 very long time. So there is RESPCT. That is my choice. It is an Otis Redding cover, so you know as well, from 1965. But there it is. I know the album cover is an album name pretty hilarious for Tony, but there it is. Tony, comments, sir. You want to say something? Just go for it, man.
Nothing. I love Aretha Franklin. That's one of my favorite songs. That, like I said, a good album and everything. So
it is justified for this moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And how many knew she was from Tennessee, right? That too. You know her from her time in Detroit, her time in LA. She's from Tennessee, people. So there you go. All right. So that is our Vinyl Club Minute. All right. Let's move on to it. MLS Cup preview. I did want to talk about who's in, who's out, all that. Because, man, it is going to be a busy few weeks here, because this is a crazy league where you do one-game playoffs and a bunch of teams qualify. And so this weekend already we have a busy slate of games. I'm going to throw it to you, Tony. Who made it? Because there's been some surprises, right?
Oh, 100%. This has been like the most surprising of all is Cincinnati, who made it into the playoffs, and they'll be playing in the Eastern Conference with, of course, Philly, who has their bye week, and Cincinnati will be playing Red Bulls. New York is going to be playing Miami at Shea Stadium, which is more of as you were saying, Joseph, a more benefit for Miami because of how the length of the field is and the shortness of it. And then the last game, of course, in the East would be Montreal and Orlando. Now in the West, as we all know, we have the bye. We have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And we have to wait for the winner of Carson versus Nashville. So I personally want Carson. I don't care. I want Carson. I want Austin. And I want Philly. And then that's just me. And moving forward after that, Dallas versus Minnesota, Austin versus RSL.
Interesting. Now, here's something I noticed. You probably noticed as well. How many actual MLS Cup winners actually qualified this year? Because I think it's a little bit bizarre. There's not many on this list. If I'm looking at it off the top of my head, I think there's only, 2 former winners? The rest is new blood, potential new blood for a winner. This is the most exciting playoffs ever. Really. There's a huge probability we're getting a new champion here. Right? Is it 3, Tony? Who we got? We got, I know,
Carson, of course. RSL.
New York City. Oh, and RSL. So it's 3 teams. That's it.
I think Dallas has one too. If I'm right.
No, I don't think they've ever won it.
Oh, it was Houston. Sorry, Houston. Sorry.
Houston's won it. Yep. Houston / San Jose, whatever that madness is. Yeah. So 3 teams. That's it. And none of them, let's be honest, are looking to be favorites this year.
Minnesota?
If I could hop in for a quick second, Opta Jack had actually tweeted out on Monday that all 6 first-round matches for the playoffs will be the first postseason meeting between the teams.
So no one's ever met in the first round? They're all new previews?
According to Opta Jack, no.
That's wild. So there's no history. Like, let it rip. That's cool. I don't know about you guys. Bam, you're looking at this like this is cool, right? It's kind of groundbreaking to have so much change for a playoff round.
It is, and it shows you just how much growth there has been in the league as well. Going with the league's how old it is, most of these teams haven't played each other in playoffs before. It just shows that it's something unique, and the old guard, the since '96 crew, have to realize that things are changing and it won't always be your way.
And Cascadia is not in the show anymore. Right?
Exactly. Yep. Like that was the games that were always shown here in Australia. The Portland Seattle games that was always shown. I can remember that as far back as I can remember was always going to be shown here in Australia and not in the playoffs. So it just shows you that what they
And the other
think the league is has now changed.
right. And then looking at the Canadian team to make it, Toronto no, Montreal yes. Yeah. It's good. This is healthy for the league. This is very, very healthy for the league to see this happen. It is. New blood. Also, those who were former winners haven't been there in a long time. So that's another interesting, except for New York City FC, of course. Just interesting to see where this plays itself out. But odds are in the favor of having a new champion and even maybe two new sides in the final. This should be good. Now, looking at the brackets and who's playing each other, of course, the 9 a.m. game on Saturday, I think it's New York Red Bulls versus FC Cincinnati. So we got to start the day early this weekend. But yeah, looking at the brackets, Tony, what stands out to you? Who's got the best to make a good run here? Fire it off, man. Who's playing who?
Like I said before, for the West, Carson, Nashville, Dallas, Minnesota, Austin, RSL, and the East is Red Bull, Cincinnati, New York, FC, Miami, Montreal, and Orlando. And honestly, the best besides us to make a run on the West is most likely Dallas. Like they're not a dark horse, but Dallas is good. At the end of the day, they're good. Nashville's my dark horse for him, but Dallas is one of the most dangerous people to watch moving forward.
I mean, look at the lineup in the West. Galaxy versus Nashville at Carson. Outside of crazy, dubious penalty decisions that got him a record number of penalty calls this year, anyone can take that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the stats would suggest that it would be Nashville.
Yep.
Could be. So the road team potentially is the better one here. Dallas and Minnesota. Minnesota, I mean, they didn't finish super, super strong, right, Bam?
They
had
did.
some moments.
I've done my picks on the MLS soccer website for the playoff brackets. I thought, well, I'll give it a crack to do what I think it's going to do. I've actually gone for Minnesota this game. I think I've gone Minnesota just to throw a spanner in the works and knock Dallas out.
I mean, it helps us if that happens, to be honest. It does. I think Dallas is dangerous no matter where you play them. They're just a young, promising side, a huge future ahead of them unless they sell half the team, which they have a history of that. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. I'm going to go to you, Araceli. Austin versus RSL. What are you thinking?
I like to think that RSL is going to knock Austin out. But they're going to be the first upset of the playoffs.
Totally agreed with you on this one. RSL knows how to play in the playoffs. They have a history of knocking off teams in the first round. That's their vibe. They know how to shut games down. They know how to get results. They needed one this weekend against Portland and got it, right? And for Austin, it's their first foray into this, right? A different kind of football. It's the playoffs. They're ripe for an upset. I'm with you. Now, let's look over at the eastern side of things for the first round. Of course, Philly's got the week off just like us.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull New York versus Cincinnati. We mentioned a little bit about it, but yes, it's the early game. But do you think, I'll go to you, Tony, will there really be an upset, or is Red Bull going to take this thing?
I think Red Bull should be taking this out of more of a shocking factor that Cincinnati, since this is their first one, so they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. That's my only shock of it, but I feel like Red Bull should take this game.
There it is. I'm kind of with it. Red Bulls. Bam's looking Red Bulls.
Yep.
Araceli?
I mean, Red Bulls does have a long history, but considering that Cincinnati has won the wooden spoon for the last 3 seasons, it would be entertaining to see them knock out the Red Bulls.
Right. And then comes NYC FC versus Miami. I think we mentioned the field situation is really bad for NYC FC. Of course, their top player is now gone. That doesn't help either. Bam, are you looking at upsets here or just a fun match?
Look, to me, because of all the screw arounds with the fields, because now they're playing at City Field, they should be stripped of hosting it. Should just gone to Miami. If you don't have your own stadium to play a playoff in, you lose rights to host it. So it should have went to Miami. But even then, it was in Miami. New York's going to win this.
Yeah, I want Miami to do the upset, especially with the postage stamp field, but I think quality may win this. It's going to be tight. I will tell you, this will be tight. And then the last one, of course, Montreal and Orlando. Orlando getting through with a crazy comeback. I remember I was in the stands at halftime telling everybody, dude, Orlando's not going to make it. And then, of course, things happened. And they sneak in to play Montreal. But, Orlando against Columbus, that game was 2 teams going down hard. And it was just who's the least worst to make the playoffs was the real story here. And yes, Orlando is the Open Cup champion, yada, yada, yada. But they ain't looking it. And I'll go to you, Araceli. Montreal should walk over these guys, right?
Yeah, I have to go with Montreal on this one.
Yeah, I don't even think it'll be close. I'll predict it. This is your blowout for the first round. I'll go there. Tony, you're thinking the same thing?
Yeah, 100%. It's Montreal.
I just looked at it. How the heck? Okay, asking any of you guys on here, did anybody predict Cincinnati and Miami both getting into the playoffs this year?
Nope.
Nope.
It's caught me funny. Like, they're both in the playoffs this year. Crazy. Good for the league, though. Good for the league. All right. Going on to the schedule, like I said, 9 a.m. Yes. New York Red Bulls, Cincinnati. Noon.
3 a.m.
A noon. Yeah, for you. A noon game, we have the Galaxy hosting Nashville. A day game on Univision? That's right. Sunday, we've got Austin versus RSL. Am I seeing that? Am I looking at that correctly?
Yep. 6 a.m.
Yep. And then we have 5 o'clock, Montreal versus Orlando. Go to the 17th. We have New York City FC hosting Miami, 4 o'clock kickoff. Dallas versus Minnesota as the evening game, the 6:30 kickoff. That is the first round. And of course, Philly and us wait for the 20th to play whoever the winner is. And then we get into our mix. Wait and see, right? And we'll get that late game on the 20th that we're all preparing for and getting ready for. What does that mean for us? Well, we could play Nashville. We could play Carson. It could either be a really awesome playoff game where we're going to have some visitors that want to party and drink with us, or we're going to have a game where we have not so great visitors that want to throw drinks at us. Drink with, throw drink. I don't know about you guys. I would much rather have a party and do this thing. But if I got to play my rival and take them out of the playoffs, it's not like we haven't done it before. We don't fear them. It's fine. We're ready for this. I could throw this to Bam and go, well, what do you think, man? What are you preferring here? And I think you're probably in my realm as well. Is just to get there, right?
Exactly, 100%. On a side note, I really want RSL to beat Austin, so I can give my mate who's currently in Austin, went to Austin's last game, and he's going to that game as well. Absolute hell, because he's an Austin fan due to the fact that he used to live there. So I hope RSL beats him just so I can just spam him on social media.
Nice. Tony, who do you want?
I want Carson. 100%.
Araceli?
Let's go with Carson.
Yeah, my only cautionary thing about this is their tendency to try to kick it at defenders when they can't solve anything and get calls. That's the only thing that concerns me is the penalty situation. Otherwise, everything else about this game, it's us. All right, after the 20th, the rounds keep going. The next one will be on the 23rd. Won't be us that game, but the 23rd you'll have 2 matches. The 30th you have the other 2 matches. And then, well, actually, yeah. And then November 5th, of course, is the final, a 1 p.m. kickoff for MLS Cup. Don't know where it's going to be. Just hope it's at the bank. What? Yeah, the bank. It'd be nice because we host every game if we survive this thing. Yes, Tony.
Now the question is, though, if it is hosted at the bank, what's going to happen? Because there's also a USC game that day.
They can cancel that. I don't care. What? Could you imagine a world like that? No.
No. It's simple. All that happens is that USC will understand what we like to do to party outside.
Dude, they tailgate pretty epic, though. Like, we get Christmas Tree Lane. They get all of Exposition Park. I'm just saying.
Joint tailgate.
Yeah, it would be interesting. An interesting doubleheader. Could you imagine the traffic related to that? Maybe we can imagine the traffic related to that. Something's got to give. I can't see the league moving the day if it is us. Could you? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could move it to the 6th if you really, 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 really had to, right?
I mean, I do
traditionally,
see the possibility of the league moving it because that's what happened with MLS Next Pro's championship. It got moved to an earlier time because of Ohio State's game.
so let's see. There it is. So
Precedent.
precedent is set. Thank you, Araceli, for that. I mean, traditionally, isn't it usually a Sunday match anyways for MLS Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foggy
much.
brain. I remember a lot of Sunday MLS Cups.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm taking Mondays off to watch it. I remember that. And I've currently got the Monday off, but not the Sunday. So if you move it to the Sunday your time, it'd be perfect for me.
I'll take it. I'll take a Sunday. I hope it moves to Sunday. There it is. If it moves to Sunday, we know we're there. That's what it means. So there you go. Bam, looking at the odds here, because we're talking about favorites, dark horses now, and thanks for playing. Odds. Who are the odds on favorite? You know the book, man. Where are we at?
Yeah. Odds on favorite are us at plus 200. Philadelphia Arena at plus 350. Montreal at plus 800. New York City plus 900. Austin plus 1100. Red Bulls plus 1400. Carson are tied with Dallas at plus 1600. Then it goes up to Cincinnati at plus 2800. And other than that, it's just not worth mentioning because they get so high. Like you got RSL plus 5,000. So for me, I've got in my account, I've put some money on us. Obviously, got to do that. But looking at the odds too, might have some cheeky ones on Montreal because Montreal could do it. They could go on a run. The thing that I'm disappointed about, though, if Montreal does win it, Austin will get the last CCL spot.
That's true. Very true. The qualification rules. All right, because the Canadian team can't take that last spot. Interesting. What a way for Austin if that were to happen. But no, it's not because we're going to be there. Damn it. Well, then again, they get it anyway, right? Because if we win.
Yep. Yeah, we win, they get it. It pretty much has to be New York City. New York City wins. They don't get it.
That's good. That it's got to be somebody from the East to move off. So, Austin, congratulations on winning your first Champions League place. Congratulations to all of you. I'll just throw that out there now as I'm not going to think about anything else but that. We're just got to take care of our business. All right. Odds on favorites to you guys. Of course, I think we can all agree we are the favorites. There's no breakdown there. Dark horses, I think, is a better story. Who from the three of you? I'll go to you, Tony. Who is your official dark horse for this playoff?
Nashville and Montreal.
Montreal.
Montreal. Sorry, I don't even know.
Okay, you're trying to get French on us, people. Did you see that? That was funny, man. All right. Hey, it would be really interesting if it did become an LAFC versus Montreal final. I mean, Max kind of grew up as a part of in their system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's playing the team that he grew up with. Would be really fascinating to see how that plays out. Araceli, your dark horse for this run?
I have to say that my dark horse for the West, I got to go with Tony on Nashville. And as for the East, I'll go with Cincinnati. Why not?
Oh my word! Could you imagine? They have the talent. I mean, the offensive talent, defensive, offensive, definitely. Bam.
For the West, Nashville, yeah, but I'm going to go more RSL. I'm going to go for a run of seventh. We're going to play RSL in the conference final. And for the East, I want to see a New York conference final.
So do they.
I would love to see that because where are they going to host it? Technically, New York City would be the host. Yankee Stadium won't be able to get used, so it'll be at Red Bull Arena.
Oh, just like the Champions League. How embarrassing. Imagine that. Or they go to like Hofstra or something like that, some random college field because, well, we got to play.
Pretty much, yeah. But no,
I
Madness, people. Madness. All right. I'll go over my favorites. My favorites. My dark horses. Dallas, to me, has the potential for a very long, good run against us, and they'll meet us just because of who's left on that side of the standings. If Austin gets bounced and gets shocked, they'll take out RSL. Montreal is the dark horse, but I kind of call them kind of a conference favorite. They played so well this year, but yeah, that has to be the team that's going to make the run. NYCFC, I don't see it. I don't. So really, it's between Philly and Montreal in the East. I don't see it any other way. The way Philly is played, they should go to the final. They have the best defense I think their pairing defensively is probably the best I've ever seen in this league, and their goalkeeper is probably one of the best of all time in MLS. So it is a really tough team. I don't want to play them in the final. Prefer not. But the war is the war. If it's them, let's do this. And we'll show them how it's done in our house. So yeah, that's where my head's at on that one. All right. And then those who are we expecting to just drop in like no time, I think it's pretty straightforward, right, Bam? I can't believe they're there.
pretty much.
Yeah, we know who they are. So there is that. All right. So now looking at our playoff prospects, what do you have to see from these guys? What are your guys' impressions? How are you feeling? Are you feeling real good about this? I'll go to Araceli. Feeling good about LAFC? Feeling bullish about it, or do you have concerns?
My only concern really is just from the last game on decision day, even though it's a little cheeky to say that to use it as like a throwaway game, but considering that's our usual starting lineup and given the amount of shots on target, I do have a little concern moving forward. But otherwise, competition, I mean, it looks pretty solid.
Excellent. Bam.
Yeah, same concerns of not being able to put the ball in the back of the net, but I think Dilla's going to get the best amount this week. I do hope that they all sit down and watch the Carson Nashville game this week, so they, as a team bonding, sit there, watch it together, and understand as soon as it's done, go out and hit the training tracks and get prepared for that game.
And one of the good thing is video is a thing with this side. They're good with the tech, so they will break these guys down. I don't see any old way around it. They're very smart about these things. The technical staff is on point, so I'd expect that. That's for sure. Tony, thoughts, concerns?
No concerns. We just got to be prepared. Again, there was no injuries, so we have everybody. We have everybody healthy. I'm just, like I said, the playoffs are a different monster. We've done this before where we've had home field advantage, and look what happened. So we're, again, a lot older, a lot more mature. So let's get this done. And we have people who've won chip. We have people on our team who have won it. So one big trophy.
Definitely not a young side, right? We went with maturity for this playoff round. That's for sure. Speaking of the maturity, looking at our starting 11, how close do you think we're at on that? I'll go to you, Tony, first. What's your predicted starting 11 for us when we finally get to that moment?
I think what we've been putting out for the last couple games is going to be our starting moment. Again, it could change when we preview whoever we play. if it's Nashville, if it's Carson, because they are two different beasts. Because one is we have, again, Mukhtar as the leading scorer and a very dangerous piece, and we had to have Chiellini and Segura like literally have good communications to stop them. While with Carson, we have to deal with Chicharito and what's his name, Puig or whatever, this Barcelona star that they have, because he's also a dangerous foe. So again, at this moment, I'm just gonna go by what we just put out there last game until we see who we face.
Excellent. Bam, your thoughts about who's our strongest 11 going into this?
It all depends who we play. So I'm not going to bother throwing out there, because if we play, as Tony said, we play Nashville, we got to have a set up to stop Mukhtar. We play Carson, set up to stop Chicharito. So until we know who it is, you can't really say.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, their approach to the game is very different. You have a Nashville that likes to sit back and counter you. That is what they're built to do, and hit you on your angles, right? Catch you out, suck you in, kind of, which we've never liked playing teams like that. Or you have Carson that's basically now with Puig in there, likes to slice down the middle, put it right up the gut on you. That is what they do. And then at times also play for those back posts and catch your overlapping defenders, which we've been victimized by them by that before. So I know the approach definitely is a little different depending on it. So good call, Bam. Good call. Araceli, do you have thoughts on who you think your best 11 are for this, no matter who we play?
I kind of have to echo the same thing that Tony and Bam said. I mean, it really all depends on who we play. If we play Carson or Nashville, but I do see Dolo putting out our usual 11 that he's been doing all season. I see Bawanga, Chito, Vela up front. I can see the Chiellini, Segura pairing in back and just kind of making those little adjustments as we go.
There it is. Good stuff, guys. Well said. I'm going to throw this out to everyone else as we get into our reactions here from all of you. 1, who do you want to play? 2, have we seen our best 11, or is it get ready for mystery because it's playoff time? So let me throw it out to you guys here. Again, join the conversation, get into this. Here we go. Moving on, I see Jose Bernal. For the playoffs, he just says it is the greatest sport. Statistics are wild. Agreed, sir. Agreed. Mark Lopez says, I want Carson, Austin, and Orlando. Orlando took the Open Cup, so I wanted to take them out. Ooh, revenge for that. That's funny, man. Could you imagine those guys making it all the way through? All right. Jose Bernal, we will have Carson. Marketing will be crazy. El Gran Tráfico playoff game again. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's ordained, isn't it? Mark Lopez, Miami making a run with Higuain and his swan song would be the greatest storyline, just not against us. Carlos C. Don't want Carson. You know that game won't be 11 versus 11. It'll be 11 versus 12 with the officiating taking center stage. I feel that with you too, man, is that's my only concern. I know we're a better side. I know we're a stronger side, but we always play with 12 against 12. And they have the record. They tied Atlanta for the all-time record in penalties awarded in a single season to make the playoffs. Basically, they got handed a spot in the playoffs with all those. And a lot of them were questionable. So I get you, man. I get the concern. I get it. I have that concern. But again, I know our guys, we're not going to let it get us down. That's for sure. Ox, well, they could move just the time, but not the date because I already requested the day off. That's funny, man. Edge says, best 11 is what we've been playing. Same as last game, but Sifu instead of Blessing. Don't think Dolo would change lineup no matter the opponent. All right. You might be onto something there. I like the experienced backline with Hollingshead. I really do. Mark Lopez, lineup hot take. Bale has been holding back and will fully unleash in the playoffs in the 65th minute, maybe. Just throw that there. I love Bale, man. He just he hasn't been Bale yet. We have Bale moments, but not the full Bale. So, yeah. He will play a factor. I guarantee he will be a super sub. That's what I see from him. Bam, you're thinking super sub as well, right?
Yeah, he'll come on 65th minute, I reckon.
Yeah. So expect that. Daniel Angel, give us Carson. There it is. And I'm like, man, the traffic's going to stink because of that. But it is what it is. I'll be there. I'll be ready. 3252 will definitely be ready. You guys get ready. It's going to be shock and awe, man. It's going to be beautiful in the bank. Home field will truly be an advantage no matter who we play. I can't wait. So love it, Danielle. There it is. No shying away. There we are. Okay. So we got our preview down. We got the comments from all you guys. Y'all are amazing. Once again, this episode has been chock full of fun with all you guys. You made it fun. The questions have been great. Thank you all for that. So that's right. Job's not finished. We have some final comments. I'm going to go to Araceli first on this one. Your final thoughts today.
Final thoughts are simple. Just got to win next week.
There you go. Tony.
Honestly, watch the game, see what the playoffs are going to be like. If this is your first round of time watching these playoffs, MLS playoffs are always exciting because you never know what's going to happen. Again, be safe over the weekend and have some time. And again, if it's Carson, be safe out there. It's going to be crazy. The last time we did this, it was a crazy day on a weekday. I remember it was a Friday night, not a Thursday night. So that was even crazier. So if it's Carson, be safe when we do this. But let's just hopefully no one gets hurt during training camp, during training, everyone's healthy, and let's be prepared for Tuesday when we go on to see what's going to happen.
Well said, sir. Which brings it to me right now. Bam, bam. Look where Tony's pointing, everybody. Bam, it's your floor, dude. Go for it, man.
Final thoughts this weekend. Watch the games you want. Recommendation for a game to watch this weekend. It'll be a 1:45 a.m. kickoff Saturday for you guys, but it's me versus Monty. Melbourne Victory hosting Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, Western Sydney Wanderers have sold out the away bay allocation and are buying up seats around it too. Last time that it was something like this happened, because Western Sydney Wanderers, their supporter group, the RBB, are celebrating 10 years. They're going to come with numbers. They're going to come with pyro. They're going to come with train detonators. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy atmosphere. Yeah, the last time we played them when something like this happened, they stole train detonators and then let them off in the stadium. It's going to be crazy atmosphere. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. There'll be pyro.
What is a train detonator? I just haven't. What is a train detonator?
I know, that's what I was gonna say.
Don't give them ideas now.
No one's gonna give ideas. It's just like I've never I'm thinking like a C4 charge blow up, something like that. Dynamite
robbing a train. What is going on here?
Is the training ground a minefield?
No, it's so little loud bangs that how do I explain it? It's the size of a coin, and it's an old school way that trains used to let warnings off and all that kind of stuff. So the trains will run over it, and it'll make a loud bang, loud noise, and to warn people in the area. They still get used, and yeah.
So many practical jokes with that thing. Oh boy! All right, yeah, so, no, that's not going to the north end. Sorry, don't look for me, people.
No. But I expect some to be used inside the stadium this weekend. Pyro will be used. It's going to be A-League Evolved, and it's going to be amazing. So if you get a chance, watch it.
Throwback A-League. Thank you, Bam, for the info. What channel can we catch that? Probably Paramount Plus, right? Up here.
Either Paramount Plus or YouTube.
There we go. Lovely, man. Love it. Definitely going to have to check that. All right. So I guess it's my turn now. Man, we're here. We got a supporter shield. We've moved on. The season is now over. The postseason is here. Welcome to the playoffs. The real season. 3 games to glory. That's all it takes for us. 3 games away. Got to take it one at a time. Got to stay focused. Got to keep our eyes on the prize and not get lost in the traffic or in the fuzz, right? Be there. Make it happen. Do what you got to do. Take your time off. Party it up. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy stuff in the lead up to each one of these matches as we move forward. So enjoy it. Enjoy MLS playoffs. It's a really interesting run this year with the teams that are in it. It's the new generation, right? This is what this is. There's a few old fogies in the mix, but it's pretty much the new generation. So enjoy MLS for what it is and what we have here in this country, where it is a one game and anything can happen. So let's go. Let's go. Tony, what are you doing, man?
I just saw the video of what a train detonator does, and it's so the best way to explain it is think of a Roman candle, but worse.
Oh,
louder.
God, don't give our people ideas, because they'll. Thanks, Bam. What I get to look forward to in my future.
Yeah, I just watched it right now. That's insane.
I will be
And that's in
checking
the
that out in a
stands?
few minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's linked in the chat if you guys who are watching right now, if you want to watch real quick.
Is this going to show up at the Rose Bowl next year? Sorry. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not predicting anything. So back to it. The playoffs, yes. So go watch it. Go enjoy it. Have fun. Prep for it. If you're working on TIFO stuff for this next game, get your stuff done in time, and let's run to the playoffs. And that's how it's got to be. For everyone here that supported us throughout this entire season, thank you. We will keep going. It is not over. It is far from over. Heart of LAFC continues. It just gets that much stronger as you see the team getting stronger and stronger. And so hopefully, by the time we get to November, we have something else to talk about that's even more beautiful. So let's begin the journey all together now on the journey. All right. So, Araceli, final word of the day.
Stay golden.
Bam.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.